Okay, this is just a Hema response video. I think it would be true to say that in general, possibly going back to the ancient Romans with the gladius, that the sort of one beat time frame within WMA is like block and riposte or parry and riposte, that sort of 1-1 rather than 1.5 beat that's in Kali or Polish sabre. In Western Europe and its offshoots in the time period of Hema, the the time beat is one stop one, so it's like the it stops. It's one. It stops. It's kind of semi-mechanical. I know it might not be noticed, but in Hema, in the West, meaning Western Europe and its offshoots in the Hema time period, the the sword is parry riposte or block and counter. It's a one and a one. It's a slower time frame. If you look at the sword in Cali, Filipino, and in Central European sabers, the time beat is very different. It's um, attack the attack, so it's like a 1.5 beat. So it's like two moves in one: attack the attack, like preemption, like Mushin or Wu Wei, no mind. The Western way is to sort of it takes longer. It depends how people see it, but it doesn't lend itself to efficiency, in my opinion. But each way has its merits and its pros and cons, so it doesn't really matter. Um, they're all good methods, but the time frame is very different for uh, the fast versus the sort of slow time frame. So in Hema, um, in the West, meaning Western Europe and its offshoots in the time period of Hema and WMA, it's a sort of stop time frame, whereas in Cali and in Central European saber and sword, it's a continuous time frame. So it's not a stop start. The stop start is a bit similar to Kenjutsu or Kendo. Also, karate and judo, the big one-off technique, where it's like a big one-off movement. The problem with that is if that one-off movement gets stuck, it's open to a lot of counters. So it just depends if you want a safer method or more sport mentality. Again, neither one's correct or wrong. It's just horses for courses, whichever you know works in the environment that it's in. But the time frame does seem to be inefficient. So to recap, um, the reason that in Western Hema, meaning Western Europe and its offshoots, generally speaking, in Western Hema, it appears that the blades are slightly curved or straight, but there isn't a general culture. Again, I repeat, a general culture. There are outliers, I suppose, of a curved, heavily curved blade, like a shamshir or a scimitar, or even a Hungarian or Polish or a Central European, possibly Austrian or other countries. Those heavily curved. So there doesn't seem to be a sort of general technique or method around these heavily curved swords. Um, so that might be why there's this more emphasis in the Western Hema of this sort of parry, riposte, and the straight stab and the straight lunge and all these things, is because when the blade is not as curved, you can do those straight techniques more uh, um, suitably within the fencing system. But when it's heavily curved, then you'll get more the cross-cutting or the X-cutting that's in Italian and Central European systems. So again, to recap for the second time, it does seem in Western Hema that there is not presence of heavily curved swords like a scimitar or a Hungarian saber, Polish saber, etc. They seem to be sort of lightly curved. Again, in general, I know there are outliers, but sort of intermediate to lightly curved, if not straight. So it always retains that favour for the straight lunge. I think it's in sort of in the Western psyche within WMA systems. It's a sort of, in a sense, it's an assumption or a preference. It's not, again, the ultimate truth. Nothing probably is in the systems, but it is sort of an assumption I'm picking up on that's kind of curious within Hema. So yeah, Western Hema lacks those heavily curved swords for some reason, and then favours the straight one. So this is a pattern.